My name is Wanda Rochelle. I'm a licensed realtor and probate specialist serving Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. Welcome. Today we are talking about locating missing heirs, and I have a special guest joining me today. I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself. Welcome.
Thank you, Wanda. It's great to be here. My name is Michael Zwick, and I'm president of Assets International.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Assets International is a company. Tell us exactly what do you do?
So we are a licensed and bonded private investigation agency. We specialize in one thing and one thing only, and that is finding people who have money coming to them. So we're not your typical PI agency that is, staking out cheating husbands at 2 a.m. As I say, my similarities with Magnum PI is that I have a Hawaiian shirt and I do have a Detroit Tigers baseball hat. But other than that, I drive a minivan. I don't carry a gun. And so what we do is we find people who have money coming to them. And that includes missing heirs in probate estates where someone has passed away and whoever's handling the estate, the executor or the attorney, does not know where one or more of the heirs are.
Okay, so your typical clients would be a probate heir or an attorney. Would you service anyone else?
So our cases, the people who bring us into the case are usually the executors or their attorneys. Our clients, though, are the heirs themselves. So we don't charge the estate. We don't sign a contract with the executor or the attorney. Basically, they refer the case to us, give us whatever information they have, and then my staff and I will go to look for the heirs, and we'll go to the heirs and we'll say, hey, Wanda, great news. We found money for you. In exchange for a percentage, we'll tell you where it is and we'll get it for you.
Awesome. Awesome. So if it were an heir reaching out to you, what would you suggest someone do before they call you? Is there just a simple process to locating an heir? I mean, me personally, if I were looking for someone, I may start on Facebook or Google the person's name. What would you suggest they do?
So sometimes those free tools will lead you to the right person. But there's the old saying that you get what you pay for.
Right.
So my company being licensed, we have subscriptions to a number of different databases, some of which require security clearance and a pretty hefty monthly fee to use to find people and their current address and phone number and emails. But also archival materials, because frankly, we sometimes have to get into the genealogy where, say, if someone passes away, we might have to go quote up the family tree to the parents or grandparents, and then come back down to find the heirs, the cousins, the uncles, whatever the case might be. So we also have tools of genealogy stuff and newspaper sites that will help us build the family tree out so we can figure out who the heirs are and where they are.
Awesome. So definitely trust a professional. Don't take it into your own hands.
You can try, but I think, frankly, we'll get a lot farther than the average person trying this for the first time.
Awesome. So have there been cases where you've been able to locate homeless people?
Yes, we have a number of times. One of my favorites is from early on. We had a case out of San Francisco where a gentleman died, and there were 2 sons who were heirs. One was found by the executor, and the other one was living homeless. We were able to track down whatever address he was using to get, I think, Social Security checks, was a homeless shelter at a church. And we were able to find him, and he got his $50,000 inheritance.
Wow.
And that, hopefully, for one of the reasons my favorite story is, besides the fact that we kind of overcame that challenge of locating a homeless person, was he was able to use that money to get himself off the street, get himself an apartment, and start a new life.
Awesome, man. That's amazing. I'm sure that's a day he'll never forget.
Yeah.
Awesome. So my next question is, do you find, and we probably know the answer to this, but I want to ask anyway because you're the professional, but is it more difficult to locate common names, last name Smith or Jones or whatever the case may be?
All things being equal, yes. A John Smith or a Robert Jones is going to be a lot harder to find than, say, a Wanda Langley. But at the same time, we will ask as much information as we can from whoever's referring the case to us. So, for example, we want to know middle name. Date of birth certainly will really help us out. Obviously, the biggest one that'll help us out is the social security number, because it's like a snowflake. Everyone has their own unique social security number. We have a case we're about to wrap up. Started 15 years ago, but that's how long the estate is taking to pay out. Where all we were told was the name of the missing heir, first and last name, the fact that he had lived in Las Vegas and then was living in Orlando, and we actually were able to find them pretty easily, because just knowing the name and where the person had lived, the two cities where he lived, made things a whole lot easier for us. So having that other background information definitely can fill in the gaps.
Awesome. So that's a good question. You said this case lasted 15 years. What is the longest time?
That's probably our longest one, and it's not because of any big complications, just that the trust from which our client is inheriting was set up to pay each of the heirs just a few $1,000s twice a year for 15 years, and then a big payout at the end of the 15 years. That happens to be coming up in about 2 months. So he's been getting about, I think, $6,000 a year until now, and now he's going to get probably about $500,000.
Wow. So do you find that there are sometimes you locate people and they don't want to be located?
Absolutely. We often say in our company that our biggest competition is not another company, it's skepticism. We recognize that people are going to be skeptical when they get this call or email out of the blue saying that they're entitled to a large sum of money. That's why we have worked very hard on presenting putting our best foot forward to our potential clients. We make sure they know that we are licensed and bonded private investigation agency. I'm one of 3 licensed attorneys on staff. We show them that we have A+ rating with Better Business Bureau. We show them very favorable press clippings from where we've been mentioned favorably in the Washington Post, the Detroit Free Press, various newspapers and other publications. And that really does help people see that we're a real company. We're not some scam from Nigeria.
Right. Wow. So speaking of Nigeria, are your services international?
Yes, we are. We have located people who are due money, missing heirs, in probably 30, 40 different countries at this point. And, it sometimes can make things a little more challenging, especially with the language barrier, which is why we have a good staff, and as well as freelancers that we work with who speak various languages that can help translate either the communications or the documents that we get from our clients. Because obviously, if we're dealing with American courts, they want to see proof of who the person is in a language they can understand.
Awesome. So, okay, so of course we're talking about locating missing heirs. How did you get into this business, Mike?
So I was practicing law as a one-man operation, starting in the mid-90s until 2001. And then an old friend of mine had come across what's called unclaimed property, which is, let me back up. There's a law that says the dormant assets have to be turned over to the state: bank accounts, stock, insurance policies, anything that is not handled or communicated by the owner for a certain period of time. And he came across this idea that there's just money sitting there in government treasuries all over the country. So we started a side business to my law firm and his own business, finding people who are due money. And we kind of branched then into finding missing heirs. And then that obviously became a pretty big part of our business.
Wow. Wow. I love it. So are people skeptical when you reach out to them to say, hey,
Some of them definitely are. Some are definitely very skeptical, and we understand that, which is why make a point, well, like I said before, to send out materials that will earn their trust. So like I said, when we send out a contract to someone, it includes a little certificate from the Better Business Bureau showing our rating. It shows a glossy reprint of a news article.
Awesome.
So they're definitely skeptical. And if someone wants to meet in person, I'm more than willing to do so. And usually once they see that, and especially if they've met with us or talked to us on the phone, they're more likely to sign with us.
So how does the services as far as the fees work with your company? If someone is watching this video and they know that there's someone that they need assistance locating, how do your fees work?
So we get paid by the missing heirs when we bring them in and they get their inheritance. So we don't only get paid upon the successful recovery. We will, our contract says that in exchange for telling these missing heirs where their money is and how much it is and everything else, and our services to make sure it gets into their hands, we get a percentage, which means, of course, that if we are not successful, we don't get paid.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's good to know. So there's no reason that no one would be hesitant in reference to hiring you.
There shouldn't be any reason.
How do once the inheritance is located, or once the person is located, I'm assuming you just connect them with whoever will be given the proceeds, and then your portion is distributed directly to you?
Well, so we actually act as the kind of a claim rep, as you would have in other fields, where we actually are the person making sure that everything is done properly, that they're getting the proper amount of money. So we'll act as their advocate or their agent to get them their money. So it's not just we're saying, here's this person, introduce them to the executor, and we just sit and wait back for a check. No, we're doing the actual work that's required.
Awesome.
A lot of times the missing heir has to file documents with the probate court to establish their identity and right to the money. So we'll make sure to take care of that. We're not a law firm, but we have attorneys all over the country that we will bring in to represent our clients to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, and make sure that they get their money.
Awesome. Well, this has been great information. Do you have anything else that you want to add? Maybe something that I'm missing that would be great information?
Just, we're here to help in, various situations, whether it's a probate case, it's a trust, it could be real estate. If there are cases where someone is looking to buy real estate and the owner has passed away, and the potential buyers will say, I want to make an offer on this property, but I can't find I don't know who the heirs are to even get them to the table. We'll bring them to the table, or we'll do our best to find them and get them to the table, and then let the negotiations happen. And we don't get paid by the investor or the buyer. We get paid by the heirs when they get their payout. So just like executors have no risk at calling us to refer a case to us, same is the case with probate real estate, where a buyer wants to buy something but can't find the heirs to the deceased owner.
Oh, that is good to know. Absolutely.
I'm sure you and I can talk more offline about this.
Yes. So I work with a lot of probate attorneys. I'll make sure that I give them your information too, Mike.
Thank you.
And I can definitely make sure I have your contact information in the description area. You have a website. I think you gave me a website, phone number, LinkedIn. So thank you for joining me on today. This has been amazing. It breaks my heart as a realtor to see people not have a will in place, and then when you do have a will and you can't locate people in your family or whoever it may be. So I appreciate you and the way that you serve the community. So thank you. I appreciate you. And so thank you everyone for joining us. I hope this video has been helpful to you. Please make sure that you like and subscribe. And again, I'll have Michael's information below in the description area. My name is Wanda Rochelle, and I am a licensed realtor serving Georgia, Florida, and Alabama. And be sure to look in the description area. I have a free probate resource for all of my followers. And thank you for joining us.